All right. Can you all hear me at the back? Yeah? Sir, how about now? Awesome. Firstly, I wanted to say Mr. Sharma, who was speaking before me, made my job a little bit easier and a little bit tough. Easier in the sense that he spoke about how for his brands like Center Fresh and Center Fruit and Alpenliebe, the audience in this room is probably not the target audience, but people who are in middle India and rural India. And we, as ShareChat and Moj, are exactly that. So that made it easy. What made it difficult is the first thing that I'm going to talk about today is AI. And we all heard his views on AI. So it's going to be interesting to see how ShareChat and Moj can solve for a lot of brand tasks per se. So with that, I just wanted to quickly get started. So today, taking a step back, I want to talk about 4 different trends that 2025 had in store for us, right? But even before that, I want to start with a quick question going around the room, right? What is the earliest tech buzzword that you have heard in life? Earliest tech buzzword that you have heard. I mean, if AI is the current buzzword, what is the earliest that you have heard? Social media? Cloud, okay. Internet itself, yeah. Maybe taking even a step back from internet, early 90s, computers itself was a buzzword, right? I'm not sure how many of you were born or rather at an age where you would remember things that happened in early 90s. But at the cost of revealing my age, let me say I was well aware of what was happening around early 90s. It was so pop culture that there was a Bollywood movie where this one character is asking this, the lead lady, saying, "Nisha beti, aap kya kar rahe ho aajkal?" और निशा बोलती है, "आंटी मैं computers कर रही हूँ." Nobody knows what computers karna means, but essentially that was the buzzword, right? Those days. All the way from there to internet, to big data, and now we are in the era of AI. Just a little over 3 years ago, ChatGPT came into our life, right? I mean, they finished 3 years of being consumer facing on 30th of November, and we are just a couple of days away from 30th of November, a couple of days ahead from 30th of November. So literally 3 years ago, I'm assuming for a lot of us, ChatGPT was the introduction to AI. So obviously, the first trend that I want to talk about is AI powers a new creative wave. Today, we are going to talk about creative specifically. So in that specific sense, what we see is that AI is not just a buzzword anymore, right? And all these 3 years of being there has actually made it possible for AI to be integrated into our lives. And here is a statistics comprising of all of us in this room plus our colleagues elsewhere as well. Almost 92% of the workforce in India is using AI in some shape and form, right? The use cases, I won't get into that, but we all use AI. So that's the first shift that we are going to talk about. And the second shift, which we are going to cover, is about microdramas, right? We all know that we are a scroll-first generation. Funnily enough, I was recently visiting a family friend in Udaipur for Durga Puja, and one of them walked up to me and said, I don't know how many of you know this, but if you are from Mumbai, a lot of people are fascinated when you go to states like Rajasthan or Uttar Pradesh, and they invariably want to talk to you. So one gentleman walked up to me and he asked me, saying, "Aap Mumbai se ho?" मैंने बोला हाँ. So then he said, actually मैंने कुछ सुना है मुंबई के बारे में बहुत कुछ. मैंने बोला क्या सुना? I was just curious. And then he was trying to crack a joke and he said, मैंने सुना कि मुंबई में the doggies जो है, they don't wag their tail like this, they wag their tail like this because there's no space around them, right? I don't know about dogs in Mumbai for sure, but definitely the wagging that we are doing is scrolling, right? And that scrolling behavior, an extension of that scrolling is what microdrama is all about. And microdrama is each episode is 60 seconds, 90 seconds, and that's the end of an episode with a cliffhanger. So that's the second trend that we'll talk about. And India is already ranking 6th in microdrama apps in terms of downloads globally. All right, the third trend that we'll talk about today is specific festivities, micro festivities, and how Diwali is not the be all and end all of festivities, and how in tier 2 and tier 3 the shoppers actually plan way ahead, and they actually plan almost 40% increased in spends that they are looking at during festivities. And the fourth shift that we are specifically talking about today is going to be around regional creators. Not every creator that comes from South Bombay or South Delhi can actually make it big when it comes to relatability with their audience, right? Because end of the day, not every product is like ultra premium. So many times people who are consumers would like to see people that look like them, that talk like them, yeah? So that's what makes regional creators so much more authentic and relatable. So that's the fourth trend that we'll talk about today. And the first trend of AI specifically. So if I have to tell you guys about what's happening with AI on our platform, AI has undoubtedly taken over every industry, literally, right? In fact, like we saw in the previous slide, India is leading the AI adoption. And on our platform, ShareChat and Moj, we have seen a sharp rise in AI-driven user-generated content, right? Take a look at this. Okay, I'll stop it right there. But the point that we were making earlier is that was not commissioned by us. That's users creating AI-generated videos, and the kind of numbers that we are seeing for that is massive. Look at the kind of shares that people are giving for these kind of videos, which are made by users and not by brands or by commissioned by us, right? So astronomical numbers. And this trend is happening in middle India, in rural India. So imagine the kind of trend that you can see in bigger cities. So that's what I'm alluding to. We already spoke about the second trend. While AI has unlocked a massive wave of short-form video creation and engagement, there is another big shift that we have seen about how India consumes content today. In short, these episodic bursts where people are binging through 60 to 90-second episodes. So this makes microdrama India's new prime time. Like you can see, people are marrying artificial intelligence and microdrama to be able to come up with their own microdrama, which is powered by artificial intelligence as well. So take a look at our first AI meets microdrama episode, and then we'll talk more about it.
अब आपको ही राजगद्दी संभालनी है। इस सिंहासन पर बैठने से पहले तैयारी करनी होगी।
शिव शक्त्यात्मकायो हम कालोऽस्मि लोकक्षयकृत् दृश्यते धर्मे मे पतनम् जायते देवावतारा। जब अधर्म ने ली सांसों की जगह और सत्य को शूल बना दिया, जब हर अरण्य जल उठा मौन में, तब किसी ने नाम पुकारा।
लेकिन इस लोक में नहीं, पृथ्वी लोक में।
All right, I think you got a glimpse of what AI-powered microdrama looks like. So at this point, I want to grab the attention of people that are from marketing teams and agencies to demonstrate how Blender's Pride has used microdrama to write this attention curve specifically by placing their message inside a short episodic drama in a super high attention environment, right? Take a look.
आप लोग ये
Fashion codes rewritten, boundaries undone, style syncs with the future, glamour takes new form. We make fashion move, presenting Falguni Shane Peacock with Tamanna Bhatia at Blender's Pro.
And because this is in a very captive environment, people tend to watch more.
Fashion realms redesigned. Couture.
Before I talk about the third trend, one thing that I clearly want to leave out is the fact that in microdrama, we at this point are offering not just ads like what you saw between episodes. What we are also doing is our ability to integrate your brand inside the story itself, right? What you saw earlier was an AI-powered microdrama, but we also have microdrama episodes featuring some of the topmost TV stars in this country. So right at the end of this session, I can see a lot of cameras out, people taking pictures. Right at the end of this session, I'm going to leave a quick QR code for you to scan, which will give you a chance to submit what brand tasks you were working on, and we could possibly solve it using microdrama. Yeah? All right. The third shift that we essentially spoke about micro festivities, right? We all know that Diwali is not the be-all and end-all of festivities in this country. So what we are noticing is even regional festivals like Janmashtami, Onam, and Ganesh Chaturthi are getting massive traction in terms of user-generated content coming through from those festivals. And significantly, what you see here is there is 50% engagement lift during these micro festivals. So for a lot of brands, like, for example, there are brands that are focused on Maharashtra, where we have done specific micro festivals where brands get to ride that micro festival wave. So that's the third trend that I wanted to talk about. And the fourth trend, essentially what we are talking about here is regional creators play a pivotal role behind this specific cultural energy. We already spoke about how these specific micro moments and rituals help brands ride this specific wave. I don't know how many of you have heard about a lot of these festivals, right? But it's very important for those markets. For example, a couple of days from now, on 4th of December, there is a Tamil-specific festival called Kartigai Deepam. It's not a huge festival like a Pongal or a Deepavali in that part of India, but it's culturally rooted enough for brands to care about these festivals, right? So that's exactly what we activate for brands that are catering to Middle India and rural India, yeah? So the numbers are there for you to see. We have over 1.5 lakh creators that we can summon for any campaign that you plan to do. And we have, these regional creators enjoy so much trust that when we do a campaign which has, a lens and a music and all those things, they are able to get their followers to create enough and more UGCs in a branded environment that gives a much bigger amplifier kick for that specific campaign. So that's the power of the relatability of these influencers from middle India and rural India. And we have around 4,200 pin codes covered within India. I think India totally has like 19,000 pin codes. So we have around 4,200 pin codes covered, which obviously means every pin code will have more influencers, more than one influencer, but we have at least 4,200 pin codes covered to grab every nook and corner of India. Recently, I was showing this deck to someone. They asked me, why is it important for us to have this coverage across so many different pin codes, right? We all have heard that in India, language and dialect changes every 50 kilometers, right? It's important for brands to probably not go as district level, but at least in a regional level, right? So for example, in Maharashtra, the Marathi spoken in Mumbai would be very different from what's spoken in, say, Pune, for example. So it's really important for brands to get to that level as well, considering you want to ride this specific cultural phenomenon and wave. So this is the last slide. What I want to leave you with are key takeaways, which are 4 in number. First one, if you are a brand, speak in a cultural language with creators rooted in their regional identity. One size fits all doesn't work anymore. Yeah. Gone are the days where you could just dub something from Hindi to all other languages and get away with it, because people, take to the internet to show those brands that how they are not being authentic. And I definitely encourage brands to build episodic narratives through microdramas and for you to be able to drive the brand resonance. And the third takeaway that I'd want you to take from today is, as cultural moments keep coming throughout the year, I want brands to show up in an appropriate manner where you can activate micro festivals and rituals. One example is what I gave you earlier for Tamil Nadu specifically. And the last one is, use the relatability of our influencers to be able to enable participation using AI and user-generated content capability and be able to take the discussion forward from there, right? All right, that's been my time. That's the QR code that I promised earlier. Please feel free to scan it and you can submit your request for us to figure how we can work with you for microdrama specific brand tasks for you. Thank you so much for your time.